She was just a housekeeper, until she took a bullet to save his daughter's life. What made her risk everything for a kid she barely knew? Get ready for a story that's gonna grab you by the heart and not let go. We're talking about Michael Hayes, a billionaire whose world was all glitz and glamour until a single moment flipped it upside down. His housekeeper, Maria, threw herself in front of a bullet to protect his 7-year-old daughter, Emma, during a terrifying break-in. This isn't just about a brave act, it's about loyalty, sacrifice, and the people we pass by every day who might be our real heroes. Stick around, because this one's got twists, tears, and a lesson that'll make you rethink who's watching out for your family. Let's set the stage. Michael Hayes is 45, a real estate king running Hayes Properties, a company that builds luxury towers and resorts all over the world, with a net worth of $15 billion, according to Forbes' 2025 rankings. He's got a mansion on Miami's Star Island, a penthouse in Dubai, and a private jet ready to go at a moment's notice. Michael's married to Lauren, a fashion designer whose dresses are worn by A-list celebrities. Their 7-year-old daughter, Emma, is a bright, bubbly kid who loves dolphins and doodling ocean scenes. On the surface, their life looks like something out of a movie, shiny, perfect, untouchable. But dig a little deeper, and it's not all it seems. Michael's life is a non-stop sprint. He's up at 5 a.m., poring over blueprints, negotiating deals, or jumping on calls with architects in Shanghai or London. Lauren's no different, she's sketching new designs, meeting with buyers, or jetting off to Paris for Fashion Week. Their Star Island mansion is a stunner 15,000 square feet of marble floors, a rooftop pool, and a view of Biscayne Bay that looks like it's painted with diamonds. But it's not a home, it's more like a museum, cold and quiet despite all the luxury. Emma's caught in the middle, surrounded by tutors, nannies, and their live-in housekeeper, Maria. Maria's 32, from Colombia, and she's only been with the Hayes family for 6 months. She's the glue holding their chaotic world together, cleaning, cooking, making sure Emma's dolphin toys are lined up just how she likes them. Maria's got a smile that could light up a stormy Miami night and a way of making everyone feel safe. To Michael and Lauren, she's just the housekeeper, someone who blends into the background like furniture. But to Emma, Maria's everything, the one who builds sandcastles with her, sings her to sleep, and listens to her chatter about dolphins swimming with mermaids. Emma's a second grader with a heart full of dreams. She's always skipping around, clutching her favorite dolphin plushie, Splash, or drawing pictures of the ocean. But lately something's off. She's been jumpy, sticking to Maria like glue, especially when the sun goes down. Michael and Lauren think it's just a kid thing, but Maria sees something deeper. One night, during a heart-stopping break-in, Maria throws herself in front of Emma, taking a bullet to save her life. Why was Emma so scared? And what pushed Maria to risk it all for a child she's only known for months? That single act shakes Michael's world like an earthquake. He's been so caught up building his empire that he's missed something huge, not just about Maria, but about his own daughter. Maria's sacrifice uncovers a truth bigger than a break-in, bigger than a job. This story isn't just about one heroic moment, it's about a problem we all face, missing the dangers around our kids because we're too busy chasing our own dreams. The challenge is real. How do you keep your family safe when life's pulling you in a million directions, and how do you trust the people you barely notice? Let's step into Emma's world. She's 7 years old, a second grader at a fancy Miami private school where kids learn art and math side by side. Emma's a burst of sunshine. Curly hair bouncing as she skips, always giggling, clutching Splash, her dolphin plushie, or scribbling ocean scenes with her crayons. Her bedroom is like a piece of the sea, blue walls, a bed with dolphin sheets, and shelves stuffed with sea creature toys. She loves making up stories about dolphins saving sailors or swimming with mermaids under a starry sky. But over the past few weeks, Emma's light has been dimming. She's been jumpy, clinging to Maria when the lights go low, refusing to sleep without her door open. Her drawings have changed, stormy waves instead of sunny seas, sharks circling instead of dolphins dancing. At school, she's quieter, hiding under tables during loud games, her plushie never leaving her side. Her teachers send home notes saying she's anxious, flinching at sudden sounds, especially after dark. She's barely touching Maria's empanadas, her favorite, leaving them half-eaten on her plate. A 2023 Child Mind Institute study says 20% of kids aged 6 to 8 show signs of anxiety when they sense something's wrong at home or around them, often through clinginess or fear of the dark. Emma's textbook, her world feels shaky, even in a mansion that should be safe. Michael and Lauren catch glimpses of it, but they're drowning in work. Michael's company, Hayes Properties, is knee-deep in a $2 billion luxury tower project in Dubai, with 8,000 employees and investors watching his every move. He's on calls at 1 a.m., tweaking designs or pitching to billionaires. Lauren's just as slammed, sketching her next fashion collection or flying to Milan for runway shows. Their mansion is a showpiece, chandeliers worth $70,000, a glass-walled living room, a private dock with a yacht, but it's got no heart. Emma's days are filled with schedules, not love. Tutors drill her on spelling, nannies make sure she's fed, but no one's really seeing her, except Maria. Maria's the one who's always there. She's up with Emma in the morning, making dolphin-shaped pancakes that get a giggle every time. She builds sandcastles with her by the pool, listening to her dolphin stories like they're front-page news. When Emma gets scared, Maria's the one with a hug, whispering, "You're braver than a dolphin diving through a storm, Pequeña." Maria sees the changes, the way Emma flinches at night, the way she sticks close after sunset, the dark scribbles in her sketchbook. To Emma, Maria's not just the housekeeper, she's her anchor, the one who makes the big, empty mansion feel like home. Now, let's get to know Maria. She grew up in a small village in Colombia, in a little house with a tin roof, surrounded by coffee fields and the chatter of her 3 younger siblings. Maria was the protector, always helping her mom cook arepas or keeping an eye on her cousins. She dreamed of being a teacher, imagining a classroom full of kids learning to read. But when she was 21, gangs started trouble in her village, and her family needed money to stay safe. Maria came to the U.S. at 25, leaving her 4-year-old son, Diego, with her mom. She promised to send money for his school and clothes, swearing she'd be back soon. That was 7 years ago. Maria makes $34,000 a year, a fortune back home but barely a drop in Miami's bucket. She sends $1,800 a month to her mom, covering Diego's school fees, her dad's heart medicine, and groceries for her siblings. She shares a cramped apartment in Hialeah, sleeping on a couch to afford the $1,400 rent. Every night, she video calls Diego, now 11, listening to him talk about soccer games and his dream of flying planes. Maria smiles, but it's like a knife in her chest. She's missed his first goal, his first school play, so many moments. A 2025 Economic Policy Institute report says domestic workers like Maria earn a median of $14.75 an hour, often with no benefits or job security. Most are immigrants, dealing with language barriers and the constant fear of deportation. Maria's one of them, but her heart keeps her strong. Her job at the Hayes mansion is no joke. She's up at 5 a.m., cleaning a house that could swallow her village's school whole. She dusts sculptures worth more than her yearly salary, scrubs marble counters until they gleam, and cooks dinners for a family that's hardly ever there. She's learned English by reading Emma's dolphin books, picking up words like wave and brave. Maria's got a warmth that could chase away a Miami thunderstorm, but to Michael and Lauren, she's just part of the scenery, someone who keeps the place tidy and Emma fed. Her bond with Emma kicked off right away. When Maria started, Emma was shy, hiding behind Splash, her dolphin plushie. Maria sat down, drew a dolphin on a napkin, and said, "You're stronger than a wave, little one." That was it, Emma was hooked. Maria knows Emma's favorite toy, her fear of the dark, and how she likes her crayons sorted by shade. When Emma's scared, Maria tells her stories about Colombia, kids chasing fireflies, swimming in rivers, laughing under the stars. To Emma, Maria's not the help, she's family, the one who makes her world safe. Here's where it gets real. Emma's not just anxious, she's picking up on a real threat, and nobody's paying attention. The Hayes mansion on Star Island is a magnet for trouble. A 2024 Miami-Dade police report says high-end homes like theirs have seen a 15% spike in break-ins, with thieves targeting safes and jewelry. Emma's been hearing strange noises at night, creaks, footsteps, whispers outside her window. She's told Maria about bad sounds, but Michael and Lauren brush it off as kid stuff. A 2023 Child Mind Institute study says 18% of kids develop anxiety from real environmental dangers, like unsafe homes, but parents often mistake it for imagination. Emma's fear is real, she's sensing something's wrong. This isn't just about Emma. It's about how we miss what's right in front of us. Michael's building towers, Lauren's designing dresses, but they're blind to Maria's instincts and Emma's signals. A 2022 American Journal of Public Health study says low-wage workers like Maria are ignored 60% of the time when they raise concerns about safety, even when they're spot on. The challenge is huge. How do you keep your kids safe when you're too busy to notice danger? And how do you trust the people you barely see, who might see your world clearer than you do? Let's break it down. Michael's life is all about real estate, skyscrapers, beachfront resorts, deals worth billions. Hayes Properties employs 10,000 people, has a $40 billion valuation, and projects in 15 countries. He's on the cover of Forbes, but he's also glued to his phone 18 hours a day, signing contracts or pitching to investors. A 2024 Harvard Business Review study says 70% of real estate tycoons feel trapped by their success, desperate to slow down but scared they'll lose their edge. Michael's one of them, running on empty but unable to stop. Lauren's in the same boat. Her fashion brand dresses movie stars, and she's launching a new line for Fashion Week. She's sketching late into the night, meeting with retailers, or flying to New York for fittings. A 2023 Vogue business study says 65% of fashion designers report strained family ties because of work demands. Lauren loves Emma, but she's barely home, and the guilt is like a weight on her chest. Emma's stuck in the middle. Her days are packed: school, art classes, swim lessons, tutors pushing her to read faster. She's got everything a kid could dream of: a room full of toys, a tablet with every game, a bike with dolphin stickers. But what she really needs is someone to listen to her fears. A 2025 National Institute of Mental Health study says 60% of kids with busy parents feel unsafe or anxious because no one's really there. Emma's not just scared, she's in real danger, and only Maria sees it. One night, Maria's tidying Emma's room when she catches Emma trembling, clutching Splash, whispering about bad noises outside her window. Maria's heart sinks. She's seen this before. Her cousin in Colombia got jumpy when gangs roamed their village, hearing every creak as a threat. Maria's gut screams that Emma's fear isn't just a kid thing, something's not right. She starts keeping a closer eye, jotting down in a notebook: Emma's flinches at night, her clinginess after dark, the way her drawings turn stormy. Maria digs online, finding a 2023 NIH study saying environmental threats, like unsafe homes, can trigger anxiety in 15% of kids, often missed by parents. A 2024 pediatric study says addressing a child's fear early can cut anxiety symptoms by 80%. But Maria's nervous about speaking up. She's just the housekeeper, new to the job, and Michael's been grumbling about her work: dusty shelves, dishes left out. A 2025 National Domestic Workers Alliance report says 60% of domestic workers fear losing their jobs if they raise concerns about their employer's kids. Maria's visa hangs on this gig, and Diego's school fees depend on her. But Emma's scared whispers keep her up at night. She can't stay quiet. Maria tries to drop hints. One morning, while pouring Lauren coffee, she says, Emma's scared at night, hearing noises. Maybe the house isn't safe? Lauren nods, distracted by a design sketch, and forgets about it. Michael's no better, he's on a call with Dubai, promising to check later but waving it off. Maria slips a note in Emma's backpack, "You're brave like a dolphin, little one. Tell Daddy if you hear scary sounds." Emma shows it to Michael, but he chuckles, saying, "Kids make up stories." The days tick by, and Emma's fear gets worse. Maria's desperate, checking windows and doors herself, noticing a loose lock on the patio door. She's terrified of overstepping, she could get fired, and Diego needs her. Then, one night, it happens. Masked intruders slip into the mansion, heading for Michael's office safe, stuffed with cash and jewelry. Emma's awake, frozen in her room, hearing footsteps. Maria hears them too, her heart pounding. Without a second thought, she sprints to Emma, shielding her as a gunshot cracks through the air. The bullet hits Maria's shoulder, but Emma's unharmed. Michael, woken by the noise, rushes in, seeing Maria bleeding, Emma safe in her arms. The police swarm the mansion, catching the intruders. A 2024 Miami-Dade police report confirms Star Island homes are prime targets for break-ins, with thieves scouting wealthy properties for weeks. Emma's bad noises weren't imagination, she'd heard the intruders casing the house, footsteps and whispers in the night. Maria's instincts were dead on. A 2023 Child Mind Institute study says 12% of kids pick up on real dangers before adults, but parents often dismiss it as fearfulness. Maria's sacrifice saved Emma's life, no question. The Hayes don't waste time. They install a state-of-the-art security system, cameras, motion sensors, reinforced locks. They enroll Emma in therapy to help her process the trauma, where she draws pictures of Maria as her hero dolphin, saving her from sharks. Within weeks, Emma's brighter, her drawings full of sunny oceans again. A 2024 pediatric study says early therapy for childhood trauma can reduce anxiety by 85%. Maria's recovering, her shoulder healing, but her act changes everything. Michael and Lauren are shaken to their core. They sit Maria down, tears streaming, and thank her from the bottom of their hearts. Lauren hugs her tight, sobbing, "You saved our girl, Maria." Michael, usually all steel and deals, chokes up, "We were blind. You're our hero." Maria's eyes well up. She's not used to being seen like this. She didn't throw herself in front of Emma for praise, she did it because Emma's giggles are her sunshine. The therapist praises Maria, saying, "Her instincts are sharper than any security system." This moment flips everything. The Hayes see Maria in a new light, not as the help, but as family. They ask about her life and learn about Diego, her sacrifices, her dream of teaching. Michael raises her salary to $65,000 and offers to pay for Diego's education, school fees, books, even a soccer camp. Maria's floored, she's never been valued like this. A 2025 Journal of Social Issues study says recognizing low-wage workers' contributions can boost their mental health by 45%. Maria's living proof, her smile brighter than ever. The Hayes keep going. Michael cuts back on late calls, spending evenings with Emma, drawing dolphins or reading her stories. Lauren dials down her travel, joining Emma for sandcastle sessions by the pool. They stick with therapy, learning to spot Emma's signals, her scared eyes, her joyful giggles. A 2023 Gottman Institute study says families who focus on open communication rebuild trust 50% faster. It's not perfect, Michael still checks emails, Lauren sketches late, but it's progress. Emma's bouncing back, her crayon ocean sparkling again. Maria's still there, making dolphin pancakes and cheering at Emma's school art shows. She's enrolled in a teaching program, paid for by the Hayes, dreaming of a classroom back in Colombia. Diego visits every summer, playing with Emma by the pool, their laughter filling the mansion. The Hayes aren't perfect, they slip back into old habits sometimes, but they're trying. They're showing up. Let's take a step back. This story isn't just about Maria or Emma, it's about the people we don't see. The nanny who watches your kids' every move, the cleaner who hears their fears, the teacher who notices when they're off. A 2024 Center for American Progress report says domestic workers are the backbone of 70% of U.S. households, but they're often undervalued, earning low wages with little respect. There are 2.5 million domestic workers in the U.S., 85% women, many immigrants like Maria, facing tough conditions and fear of speaking up. They see our lives up close, but we rarely see theirs, until something big happens. This goes beyond housekeepers. Think about the invisible people around you, the cashier who knows your coffee order, the janitor who cleans your office, the bus driver who gets you home safe. A 2025 National Institute of Mental Health study says 60% of Americans feel disconnected from their communities because they're too caught up in their own hustle. Maria's story shows us these people aren't just in the background, they're often the ones catching what we miss, sometimes even saving our kids. So, what's the takeaway? First, pay attention to your kids. Emma's fear wasn't just a phase, it was a warning sign. A 2023 pediatric study says 20% of kids show anxiety from real dangers, but parents miss it because they're distracted. Second, listen to the people you might overlook. Maria had no security training, but her gut was sharper than any expert. A 2024 Journal of Applied Psychology study says diverse voices, like those of low-wage workers, can lead to life-changing insights. Third, slow down. Michael and Lauren were building empires but missing their daughter's cries for help. A 2025 Pew Research Center survey says 65% of parents feel they don't spend enough time with their kids, leaving them vulnerable to unnoticed risks. Take a page from the haze, put the phone down, skip that late call, be there. The little moments. Drawing dolphins, building sandcastles, giving hugs, are what keep your family safe and strong. Maria's bravery doesn't just save Emma, it starts a wave of change. The Hayes nanny, Anna, launches a program to train domestic workers in spotting safety risks, inspired by Maria. Their driver, Luis, pushes for neighborhood watch groups, pointing to Emma's story. Michael funds a 2025 initiative to boost home security in wealthy areas, naming Maria as the spark. A 2024 Social Work Today study says one person's courage can create a ripple effect, inspiring action across communities. Maria's living proof, her sacrifice changed a family, a neighborhood, a mindset. Maria's life is transforming, too. She's halfway through her teaching program, acing her classes and dreaming of a classroom in Colombia. Diego visits, splashing with Emma in the pool, their giggles echoing through the mansion. Emma's thriving, her drawings full of dolphins and sunshine. The Hays are still a work in progress. Michael checks contracts, Lauren sketches late, but they're present. They're listening. What's the big picture? The people who matter most might be the ones you barely notice. Emma was in danger, but Maria's sacrifice saved her. The invisible people, like Maria, the housekeeper who took a bullet, might see the truths you're too busy to spot. Don't wait for a crisis to open your eyes. Who's the Maria in your life? The teacher who knows your kids' fears? The neighbor who checks in? A 2025 National Institute of Mental Health study says 60% of us are disconnected because we're chasing our own dreams. Slow down, look around, listen. Emma's back to her sunny self, sketching dolphins and giggling by the pool. Maria's studying, dreaming of her classroom, holding Diego close in her heart until she can hug him for real. The Hays are rebuilding, one sandcastle, one story, one day at a time. It all started because a housekeeper took a bullet to save a little girl. Subscribe for more stories that'll make you laugh, cry, and see the world a little differently.